अस्सलाम वालेकुम गाइस, कैसे हैं आप? उम्मीद करते हैं कि आप सब खैरियत से होंगे, खुश होंगे और हमारी दुआ है कि आप हमेशा खुश रहें, हंसते और मुस्कुराते रहें। मेरा नाम है रहमान अनवर
और मैं ज़फ़ा इकबाल।
और भाई देखने जा रहे हैं कृष्णा विलेज ऑफ पीस। तो देखते हैं यहाँ पर भाई। तो अगर वीडियो पसंद आए तो लाइक सब्सक्राइब जरूर कीजिएगा और कमेंट में अपनी राय का इज़हार जरूर कीजिएगा। तो करते हैं वीडियो स्टार्ट। पोलैंड।
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
We've been participating in this festival, this Woodstock festival, now called Poland Rock, for 24 years. And we've had this village at every time, at every event. And there's a lot happening here at Krishna's Village of Peace. It's kind of like, if you ask the kids at this festival, and there's over 1 million of them, where's the place to be? Many of them will say it's Krishna's Village of Peace. The atmosphere, they say the atmosphere is special. We know why it's special because, well, it's like Vaikuntha. Because the 9 processes of devotional service are taking place here in a very wonderful way. And yeah, it's a place where there's no anxiety. We're just stepping out of Krishna's Village of Peace now, and you can feel the whole atmosphere is changing. It's quite tense out here at this rock and roll festival. But yeah, so it's our village is the place to be because, well, there's a lot of transcendental entertainment going on. A large variety of transcendental entertainment. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati decided he was going to print a newspaper every day about the activities in the Vaishnava community. And he's been printed every day. He was serious about it. And a local newspaper reporter came to see him, and he said, how can you print something every day about, you know, Krishna consciousness, about activities and devotional service? It's just, you have such a small community. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati replied, he said, actually, we have much more news than you do because our news is news of the spiritual world. And he said, this material world is only 1/4 of God's creation, 3/4, actually unlimited, is the spiritual world. So like that, when the kids come to our event, there's just so many different activities that they can engage in. And the nature of those activities, like any activity in Krishna consciousness, is one never gets satiated. Material life, whatever you do, you know, you start out enjoying it, but very quickly you get bored and you start looking for something else. Not so with Krishna conscious activity. So the kids come back to our festival every year. So, I mean, so many of them come back every year. And a lot of them just stay in our village the whole 3 or 4 days of the Poland Rock Festival, the Woodstock Festival.
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
एक्टिविटी होती है।
Rama Rama Hare Hare
We're getting close to the mark of 150,000 plates, 42 tons of boga. Then we have a questions and answers tent as well, with many senior preachers, Polish and international, answering questions on the philosophy of Krishna consciousness. And our experience over the years is that, well, the questions get deeper and deeper. The people really know us, they spend time with us, you know, this is an intense experience here, this festival. So they spend time with us, and they get to know the devotees. Many of them keep contact with the devotees as friends through the year, or they write, or they visit some of our centers here in Poland. They start chanting. And so when they come to hear that any question they have about Krishna consciousness can be answered, and as we followers of this Vaishnava tradition know, there is no question that cannot be answered about spiritual life. That's the beauty of our philosophy. The 700 concise verses of Bhagavad Gita, any question you have can be answered. One time Prabhupada asked one of my godbrothers, Bhagavan Das, to write a book, Spiritual Solutions to Material Problems. And Prabhupada said, that book could be endless, because this material world is problematic. But there's an answer to every question. So the kids come, they inquire about the purpose of life, you know, what's the soul, what happens at death, what is God, why is there such a struggle? And they're serious, they actually sit there, and they're serious about their questions. And some of them sit there for many, many hours. And we have a yoga tent where they can start to learn yoga. Of course, yoga is very popular. But just being with devotees again is such a pleasant experience, such an enlivening experience, that although there's many yoga schools throughout Poland, somehow our yoga tent's just full to the maximum. We have to have 4 or 5 different yoga teachers over these 4 or 5 days to keep up with the demand.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
The whole purpose of our village is just to engage people's senses in Krishna consciousness. Here, when they come to our village, Krishna's Village of Peace, it's like an immediate transformation, because what we're doing is you could say we're awakening their spiritual senses. Within this material body, there's a spirit soul, and that spirit soul is a person. We have a spiritual body. Ultimately, we are the spiritual body in the spiritual world, in a loving relationship with Krishna. So Krishna's Village of Peace, we begin to awaken those spiritual senses. They see all the beautiful devotees, they see the different exhibits, they see the kirtans, they see all the activities going on, they smell the incense, smell the cooking, they hear the kirtan, they taste the prasadam, their mind's engaged, their intelligence is engaged in asking questions, so forth and so on. So the whole idea of the village is just to awaken their transcendental senses. And for the Vaishnavas, this is the most satisfying experience. Krishna consciousness is very, very potent. It works very quickly. One doesn't have to wait 1,000 lifetimes through the yoga process to get a glimmer of the super soul within the heart. One doesn't have to take many births and study the different Vedic scriptures to come to the understanding that the absolute truth is Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Those processes are there, but by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his emissary Srila Prabhupada, this process has an immediate effect. Many, many people here, they become so deeply touched by the activities going on at Krishna's Village of Peace that, again, they take up the process all year. And many of them tell me that they wait all year long for Krishna's Village of Peace. One boy said, "I wait all year long to taste this halava."
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Probably the most popular tent of all is the mantra yoga tent, where the kids come and they chant. Now many, many years ago, say 10 or 15 years ago, the kids would come in, 3, 4, 500, 1,000 kids, and they would chant, and they'd just be into the music or the drum beat. But I'm noticing now the intensity with which they chant. You could even say the devotion, the surrender, the feeling of dependence on Krishna. Somehow they catch that mood. Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, Krishna consciousness is something that's imbibed from other devotees. It's like you catch that good disease of Krishna consciousness, especially when there's many devotees chanting together, because that is the process for the sage. Lord Chaitanya, the Yuga Avatar, he descended to introduce congregational chanting, many devotees chanting together. And just that mercy flowing, it's just an abode of mercy, that the mantra yoga tent. People get that sense of Krishna consciousness and they chant. We often say chant from the heart. Sometimes I'm watching those kids chanting and I'm thinking, I wish I could chant like that. I wish I could call out to Krishna without any reservation, without any hesitation, just Atma-nivedana and fully surrender. So, in one sense, I'm learning from the kids who come here how to chant. At least I'm inspired by them.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Very indebted to the organizers for having us come every year. They're our good friends, and they're doing this festival as an appreciation for all the youth of this country who help them raise money for disabled children in hospitals. And yeah, we love these kids. We love the youth here. because they're reciprocating with us, and they flash us the peace sign all the time. They smile at us, so forth. So we see them like part of our family. It wasn't so many years ago that people like myself were intense like this. I remember in the 1960s in Golden Gate Park in San Francisco, sometimes I just see myself in the faces of these devotees. It wasn't long ago that we were also in such a condition. Somehow or other Prabhupada came and his representatives, his disciples came, and they saved us. So we're doing the same business. This gives us such pleasure, it gives us such satisfaction to share our good fortune with the people here at Woodstock. And we hope that this event will go on for another 24 years, and our disciples and our followers in the years to come will carry on with this great tradition of Krishna's village of peace at Woodstock, at Poland Rock, for as many years as can come. All glories to Prabhupada, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki, Sri Shri Radha Shyam Sundar ki, Sri Vrindavan Dham ki, Go Premanande!
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
क्या बात है भाई,
ओए 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 ओए।
भाई बहुत ज़्यादा दुनिया होती है यार, बहुत ज़्यादा दुनिया है आप देखें। और एक से एक बढ़कर भाई वहाँ पर सिंगर वो सब के सब भाई आते हैं।
बहुत बड़ा इवेंट यार,
बहुत बड़ा है यार, क्योंकि देखे इतनी सारी भाई दुनिया है, हम तो सोच भी नहीं भाई सकते थे यार कि इतनी ज़्यादा दुनिया। फिर वहाँ देख लेके
भाई वो भी फॉरेन कंट्री में थे,
पोलैंड में
ये सारे भाई मानने वाले हैं।
नहीं देखो ना, अब जब वीडियो स्टार्ट होने लगी थी मैंने तो बोला था भाई कृष्णा जी के आज विलेज में जाएंगे, कुछ पुरानी यादें होंगी देखेंगे, लेकिन इधर तो भाई गोरों में आ गए और इधर भी काफी एंजॉय किया।
भाई वहाँ पर
सेम टू सेम कर रहे, मतलब
सेम टू सेम चीज,
सब कुछ जो है ना वो देख रहे हैं, कर रहे हैं। लोग किस हद तक जो है ना उसकी में शामिल हो रहे हैं।
मुझे तो लगता है ये काफी एक बड़ा इवेंट है और काफी इधर टाइम स्पेंड करते हैं काफी दिनों के लिए। आपने देखा एक कैंपिंग वाला भी सारा सिस्टम
हर तरह का भाई यार, हर तरह का, कोई शक नहीं।
एक बड़ा उन्होंने इवेंट मतलब के बनाया हुआ था, हर चीज का आपको ज्ञान मिल जाएगा। अगर आप ना मतलब के लोग योगा भी कर रहे थे, लोग कोई सीख भी रहे थे, किताबें भी उधर पड़ी थी, उससे आप मतलब के सीख सकते हैं और खरीद सकते हैं। और एक मतलब के स्पेशल बंदा है उन्होंने रखा हुआ
भाई, हर तरह का ज्ञान मिलेगा,
हर तरह का
भाई। वहाँ योगा कर रहे हैं लोग, देख लो हर तरह की एक्टिविटीज हो रही है। कितने सिंगर आए, क्या क्या होता है भाई कि आपको फ्री खाना मिल रहा है भाई। एक बहुत बड़ा इवेंट है जहाँ पर सारे गोरे भाई इकट्ठे हुए हैं। पोलैंड साइड है ना, तो फिर वहाँ पर सब के सब भाई इतने कैंप लगे हुए हैं, लाखों की तादाद में थे यार लोग,
बहुत ज्यादा थे। अभी तो काफी मतलब कि कम कवर किया है भाई। वो तो जैसे एक व्लॉग इस पर करते ना, एक मतलब के चलते चलते तो फिर वो तो खत्म होने वाला था। और आज होली भी है और ऊपर से ये वीडियो देखकर काफी मतलब कि खुशी भी हो रही है इस मतलब के इवेंट पर।
हाँ जी बिल्कुल, तो बहुत कमाल हो गया यार। कभी सोचा नहीं था कि इस तरह की चीज भी देखने को
मिलेगी। ठीक बात, अब मतलब के इंडिया के लोग कम थे और दूसरे मतलब के
फॉरेनर ज्यादा है, कोई
नजर आए लोग आए हैं।
और देखो कैसे उन्होंने मतलब कि एक बड़ा इवेंट सजाया।
बिल्कुल भाई, मजा आया।
फ्री का खाना भी मिल रहा था
भाई, खाना भी, हर चीज भाई आपको वहाँ पर मिलेगी। तो
खैर इससे रेलेवेंट कोई चीज ऐसी जो मतलब आप समझ रहे हैं कि हमें नहीं यहाँ पे समझ आ रही है, वो जरूर बताइएगा। कोई चीज ऐसी हम मिस कर रहे थे तो वो और इसके बारे में मजीद अगर कोई भाई इसके डिटेल के साथ इसकी इन्फॉर्मेशन दे दे तो वो हमारे लिए और भी अच्छा हो जाएगा।
बिल्कुल भाई,
ताकि
तो-
नेक्स्ट इसके ऊपर कोई व्लॉग वगैरह देखते हैं जिसमें और जो है ना वो बेहतर तरीके से इसको हम देख सकें।
मिलते हैं नेक्स्ट वीडियो में, तब तक के लिए गुड बाय, टेक केयर।